Wonder what you can find down here. Out of Date says the time has come for you to reconcile with your past. Lupa-Lupin is still staying in the camp where he was brought up. He hopes you'll find the answers you are looking for there. Even though darkness is a part of your nature, he suggests you try to keep your cool, as the best fighter is never angry. He'll point you in the right direction, but the rest is up to you. This part of the journey is one you'll have to do on your own. Lupa-Lupin's camp has always been there, hidden deep inside the mountains. Out of Date hopes you'll find your way and the answers you were looking for once you're there. He knows he said it before, but the time has come to put an end to the Lupin's reign of terror. You should get over there, come face to face with destiny. It's going to be you against the Lupin. No rules. He's happy to help. Says you should take it easy. Lupa-Lupin's camp has always been there, hidden deep inside the mountains. The world is full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. Tread carefully here. This is Lupa-Lupin's camp. Lupin says he's been looking forward to this moment. He wanted you to come here and see for yourself where it all started. He was so little when your mother and kin came here to put an end to his mother just because she was different, a hunter. That night, the hunter became the hunted, trapped with nowhere to run. He says your mother showed no mercy, only vengeance. He can see that you're not like your mother. There's something different about you. Maybe you would have made a better decision than she did. And let them be. They orphaned him, left him alone, an outcast and a freak. Lupa-Lupin says he's been reliving the moment every night since then. He says your mother and her disciples started something that couldn't be undone. They created the monster he would become. That's why he spared you that night he raised the village when you were a child. He wanted you to suffer for life, like he had. His hunger grew insatiable over the years to come. He tried, but being vegetarian wasn't in his nature and he couldn't go hungry. But he's never taken a life for the sake of appetite. It's always been about survival, and that our true self is being who we are. Just so. A deep look into nature will make you understand everything better, and that natural selection eliminates, and the strongest survive. Just so. Fate is for those too weak to determine their own destiny, and now the time has come for you to accept yours. It feels like an ancient dungeon down here. Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy. He says he appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's got urgent news from his friend Noko in the east.
Ja Mauloa.
Out of Date says that even though he's unsure about your intentions, he hopes you'll support Noko. He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Noko and making sure she gets what she needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date was spot on. The hoof puff needs to be stopped. Out of Date says that Noko is worried now that the Eastern World Eater is stepping up its activity. He explains that Noko keeps a fabled steed that she has planned to ride out to the World Eater, but needs help to get it prepared. Out of Date suggests that you should head east as fast as possible and see what you can do to help. He says you really need to go see Noko as soon as possible. He guesses you're back for more. Says you'll meet again. Let's see. The mountains sure are beauty-filled. Doesn't riding a beast like this feel good? That place there's a real fixer-upper, not an entirely lost cause. That's a Terra Glo— You need to swivel the Globus's bearings to get the Atlas mapper to work. You need to swivel the globus's bearings. You need to swivel the globus's bearings. The story will go on as long as there is someone there to listen. Pock-Smock. Whoa, smell that? Biohazard nearby. You found Camp MOSSURK. Look for the bandits. You're feeling mighty low. That'll come in handy. It's becoming terminal. This one seems to be in good spirits, despite being left here for dead. Asks you to do the right thing for the sake of your conscience. It's only through your inner conflict you're held accountable for your actions. Is surprised you chose not to help. Feeling good is not the same thing as doing good. There's a serenity about this spot. It's a place for rest and recovery. Looking for treasure. As long as karma exists, the world changes, and we change with it. Finding things both here and there. The end is coming to the world, and everything else. Ah, the GNOAT pen. Noko never leaves this place. She's always put the living things first. Nooks isn't an easy language, but at least it's manageable. She says she is so happy to see you again. Noko remembers you used to chase around with so much energy and is glad to see you haven't lost any of that spark. But that's all long gone now, though. Memories show us where we've been, not where we're going. Believes everyone needs direction in this broken world. Your only hope is that you'll end up in a good place once all this is over. She sees you're back to buck with LUPA-LUPIN. Can't see how there's any way to avoid that now. Not for long, at least. She says the horrors of your younger days were enough to ruin anyone, but not you. You've got all that cheer about you still. Noko says history is like the trail you've been on. You can walk back down it any time you like until it's worn smooth. But she wants LUPA-LUPIN to pay too, even though she strongly believes forgiveness is the strongest revenge.
Take that, light!
Really, you ought to use your head instead of your gut. Just remember, you can always find light in the dark.
Dark? When you already know you're right.
Asks how many paths you've wandered in the world, and if you ever wonder about what might have changed if you'd taken different ones. You can't do everything you want, can't go everywhere, can't see everything, only what you can. Hates that you didn't care enough about the world to fight for it. Glad you saw the light with the myriad. They always bring a sparkliness to any day, and sometimes the nights do. Says that's only for a little while, and when your eyes clear, you see everything even better than before. But let's not speak of that now. She has an idea where the Mjut might have gone, as there's no other place it likes as much as its own corner of the open wild. She's even named it the MJUTMEADOW. You should lead the Mjut back here when you find it. It's going to... It's the most magnificent creature she's ever encountered. A creature straight out of a dream or story. Let's see. How majestical! You found the MJUTMEADOW. Watch out for the Mjut. The tribes need someone to unite them. Now that the Mjut is back in the pen, it seems calm. But Noko is still concerned. She says the Mjut is still anxious, but fortunately she knows just the thing it needs to calm down. The Mjut once found and ate a Bon-Bon Gummy by mistake, and that the chewing really calmed it down. She says that you should find some Bon-Bon Gummies for the Mjut by the KROSSWAY. At least, that's where she found some last time. She figures the choosies from the old world are made from gummy trees, but wouldn't be surprised if they were actually made from some chemical concoction, though. A KROSSWAY. This means you have a choice to make. Which way? Don't be fiery. It probably won't bite. That's a... Looks like the control box handles need to be wheeled to buzz the wire. Wired up and ready to go. There's not much left of what we used to call our world. Cranks like these usually need to be wound to operate the dispenser. What you see is what you get. Once it's out of the blind box, you shouldn't be surprised if you stumble on more of these. It's an electropanel, a closed loop that pushes voltage spark. Flick the switches in order to greenlight the current and activate the electrons in the good. The loop is electrified enough to spark. With its attention diverted to the chewy Bon-Bon Gummy, the Mjut calms down. But Noko is still concerned. She's relieved the Mjut has calmed down, but you'll need a heavier sit-tight to ride it than the one she's got. The only sit-tight she can think of that would be heavy enough is one she's spotted mounted on an old-world Mekamjut. If she remembers correctly, she spotted it at the SMILO Shopperia while scavenging for treats for the GNOATs. That's not so far away. Seems the old world had plenty to offer, and all in one place for those obsessed with material things. Almost too much, if you ask her. This beast can move. You finally found the village of BUMLIDOF. Put one through a heart. Crunch. This mount has quite a bounce to it. Yuck! That there's a sludge gush field where the company used to suck sludge from the underground. Now it's all over. The SMILO Shopperia. Guess shopping here put a smile on your face. Boxes like this are few and far between. However, that's no great loss. Talking pictures from the aforetimes lacked a message. Such a treasure. Nothing simple. It's locked. Needs a key. You don't get to wander below ground like this every day. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Now hold on. You need to loosen the bolts without rattling the Mekamjut. That's it. The sit-tight is loose. Time to stop horsing around and get the sit-tight back to Noko. Now that the Mjut's got a mouthful of Bon-Bon Gummy and the brand new sit-tight is in place, the Mjut is ready to ride. Noko's been training another fantabulous little critter that'll hopefully become a distraction for the hoof puff when you confront it. She's called them Glittermoths, and the best way to find them is to go talk to Mito. She's asked him to keep them somewhere safe. You'll find Mito at Bright Light. He's a light-headed fellow, but hopefully he'll remember where he stored the moths. They're small airborne creatures with bright reflective wings and a conspicuous fluttering flight. Let's see. The plague that's ruining the land needs to be stopped. don't have the key energy for that. Everything is at stake. This place is called Bright Light. Mito lives close by. Let's see. With the world getting darker by the day, there's not much time left to save it. And even though you've just met, he feels you're bound to play a huge part in that. Says there's so much darkness to deal with. Rather than curse it, he makes lamps to fight it. You found your way through the darkness. You shine like the sun in the sky, but will you use that power to warm the world or burn it? Begs you to center yourself in the light. It can show you the way out of the darkness. No matter where your path takes you, though, it's important to remember where you came from. The past bright lights the present. Wonders if you know how much of an effect you've had upon the world. Your presence changes things like light changes darkness. Did you realize that when choosing where to shine? Figures that doesn't matter. You can't help but shine either way. So happy you know you're helping brighten the world. There's plenty of it that's still worth saving. Stunned that you decided the world wasn't worth saving. What was it that burned you? Says you did the right thing in taking up with the Myriad. They buy lots of his lamps. That's a tribe that believes in the bright things in the world. Claims he wasn't trying to sell you anything. Now, he assumes you are here to be enlightened. He can't blame you as everything just feels dark and hopeless these days. He senses you're like the dayfly, living every day like it's your last, afraid that when night comes, it might be proved right. Believes no one is entirely dark. Even the worst have a spark of good in them. Mito says he's not only into those who shine bright, he likes things that glitter too. He reckons you haven't seen a glittermoth and says it's about time you did. Even though they're nesting near gone grass, they never run out of glow. Finding yourself a glittermoth would give you that glimmer of hope you need to continue all the way to the end. Glows with delight at your bright passion for the light. How long has this night gone on? Your destiny waits on the path you'll take to avoid it. Glittermoth Cave is right here. That's enough Glittermoths to make her plan work. She wants you to stop worrying about the paths you've ridden and focus on the inevitable road ahead, the one that leads to confrontation with the World Eater. The hoof puff is evidence of the duality of evolution, utterly beautiful and grotesque at the same time. She means that the hoof puff has had more time to eat at the root as it's been isolated in the Knoopstonies mountains. Everything in nature is dual, and so is evolution.